Hello, I'm Jackie Jones of Jones & Associates Law, PC, and this is part 2 of today's topic, when the side chick gets pregnant and you are not Carmelo Anthony. This is the side chick version. Talking about a sticky situation involving NBA star Carmelo Anthony, his wife Lala, and some side chick whose name I refuse to learn. Well, at any rate, Twitter has been abuzz over Father's Day weekend because there has been this outpouring about whether or not he's an involved father with regard to the side chick's baby. It started because his wife Lala gave him a shout out on Father's Day, really big of her, by the way, for what he's done for their 12-year-old son and what a great father he is. And of course Twitter, because they think they know everything, is all abuzz talking about how he apparently may be financially taking care of his baby girl, but he is not seeing her. And of course there are many people who are blaming his wife, Lala, but we're not going to get on that. Let's talk to you today, side chick. So side chick nation, I'm coming at you. Now, I'm a divorce attorney, so you're not going to see me talking to you a lot. When I'm usually talking to the women, it's because he's not doing what he's supposed to do financially and you need child support, or there's a custody issue and you're coming to me to represent you on that. But today I'm talking about how your stank behind became the side chick baby mama in the first place. Yes, I called you stank. I called you stank because you got yourself in the middle of something you had no business being in. Now, I'm not talking about people who were fooled, who were tricked, who had somebody lie to them. I'm talking about people who clearly know, just like that woman knew, that this was a married man she was dealing with and had a baby. And yes, that's nasty because he has a whole wife and child in the family. And I've already addressed how nasty he is. That was part 1. He's wrong. But now you find yourself in the position of being baby mama of a side baby. I don't even know if side baby is the way. I don't like side baby. I mean, I like the old days when it was like Diana Ross, love child, never meant to be, love child. Anyway, it's not like that anymore. So here you are thinking that you are salt and pepper talking about, I take your man whenever I feel like it. Okay, but the wife is over here thinking she Mo Ken Steph talking about, he's mine, you might have had him once, but I got him all the time. Okay, so I really enjoyed the 90s. Whatever. The long and short of it is there are some legal issues going on here. Not only legal issues as far as the fact that there is a child and there's a marriage. And that divorce, if it happens, has nothing to do with you. And you know what, sis? It may not happen. It often does not happen. Now, I have some things to say to the wife in part 3 about what happens if there is a baby and what you need to do. But let's talk about you, baby mama. Yes, you's now a baby mama. And he's not trying to leave his wife, as you can see in some of these cases. And he's not trying to marry you, and he's not trying to be with you, and he's not trying to have weekends with the baby, and he's not trying to play happy family. I know, Dwayne, I am going in. He is just over here being who he was, which was nasty. You knew he was nasty. You knew he had a wife. The whole situation, nasty. But what do you need to do? Hopefully, be a grown woman. Be a grown woman and handle your business. What does your child need? Well, for one, your child needs to be financially supported. You can't bargain away your child's right to be supported. So you have to deal with things like child support. And maybe he will pay you voluntarily. Maybe you guys can work that out. But a lot of times what will happen is you will end up in the court system. Do you want to be there? No, you don't. You don't want to be there. It's not fun. But let me tell you something else you don't know. Sometimes the trifling man that you laid down and had this baby with, who you know had a wife, he has nothing. It belongs to his wife. No, I don't just mean it belongs to her because they are a unit. I mean literally. Sometimes it's her house, it's her car, it's her money, and he has some inadequate job, if that. And you know how I know? Because when he should have been at work, he was fooling around with you. That should have been your clue that he didn't have nothing. So you think, I'm going to go into child support court and I'm going to ask for all this stuff because he's driving a Mercedes, her Mercedes. He's living in a big house, her big house. Do you think the court system is going to take her income into account when they decide how much money you should get for child support? Here's the answer. Nah, no, it's not going to happen. Now, can a court say that he has additional available income to him and that can determine in part whether or not he has to pay support and how much? Absolutely. But they're never going to look at her check. They're never going to include her check. And that means that the money you thought you were getting, you may never get. But here's the other thing. A lot of times when these men are cheating, they really, really want to stay with who they're at home. And you know how I know? Because divorce is really easy to get nowadays. He could have left at any time, but he didn't. He doesn't want to be with you, sis. But at any rate, so right now he is doing everything possible to prove to his wife that he is worthy and that he deserves her and that she should not leave him. And that means ignoring you and your child. Now, yeah, it sucks. It's not good. Let me be very clear. If his wife is telling him that he should not have a relationship with his child to stay with her, she's trash too. Absolutely trash, because once you take a man back after he's cheated, if there's a baby there, you accept the baby. You have no choice. Babies are innocent, period. You got to deal with it. But this is what you have to understand as the side chick, because you are not getting any elevated status in this because you now are the mother of this child. You may have even more that you have to do as far as custody of the child because he may not do anything. He may not be involved at all. Okay, Dwayne, you said side chicks are like Christmas toys. You get excited about them and then you forget all about them and stop playing with them later. Is that it? I'm guessing. So the thing about it is that you have the absolute right to be involved in custody court with him, but here's what you don't understand. The person who files for custody is usually the person who wants custody determined. He may never file. So you can go to court and you can say, Your Honor, he's the father and I want to make sure that he has some custody. Guess what? Not going to work. Because if he's smart already, first and foremost, that I would hope, since this should have been video one, but if he's smart, the first thing he did was get a DNA test and make sure that it was actually his child. So usually you guys are already not in good terms, because as I tell men all the time, you must always ask for a DNA test. And as I tell women, once he asks for that DNA test, you're pretty much pissed with him and done. Period. But that's how it works, because he absolutely has to ask. And if I'm the wife, I am demanding it. What am I saying? I'm not demanding it because I'm not the wife that necessarily is going to stay. But if I were the wife staying, I would definitely demand it. Especially before I started cutting on my income and the income of my kids, who at this point, that's all I probably am caring about. At least in my experience, that's how the wives feel. They're worried about their children, their family, their home, their stuff. So now you have found yourself in a situation where you have no real relationship. You too have not necessarily the amount of support that you need to take care of this child. And 3, you have custody where in fact you are spending all of your time with this child because the father may not be involved. It was an absolute mess. Now, what you do not want to do is be like this messy mistress of Carmelo Anthony's all on social media. First and foremost, don't put that baby's picture up on social media. Twitter doesn't need to see it. Instagram doesn't need to see it. His wife and her family stalking. And yes, I know, because sometimes they come to me and they bring me the pictures, the wives, when they're ready to divorce, and they're like, look at this child right here. This one looks just like him. He can't deny it. Look how ugly she is. Look at her. This is who he cheated with. This is what I see as the lawyer. Right. So what you do not want to do is have your child all over social media to be an object of other people's scorn, for one. You also do not want to do things like make sure you tell the wife first. Don't. You are an adult and you have an 18-year sentence at least with this man. So you don't want to be like, I'm going to blow up his spot and I'm going to tell his wife before he tells her. Go to him, tell him that you're pregnant, tell him you're having a child, deal with that as an adult. You laid down, you did it, do that. Don't go, all into the wife and being worried about her. Worry about you and your child and your child's father first and foremost. Don't do the silly games. As I mentioned in part 2, there was a woman who was doing things like sending pizzas to the house. She would always, try to find ways to be around the wife's job or be places where she'd see her, or she'd go, to her job and look at her records and that kind of thing. And it was just messy and unnecessary. Don't do it. let me tell you what, for one, let's say you work in a medical office and you access the wife's records. Well, now you have a HIPAA violation and possibly a legal violation. Don't do it. Don't put your job on the line. Don't put your life on the line. Don't put your livelihood on the line. Just don't put your integrity on the line to do that. Absolutely don't do it. Now, you're not happy. Things are not going the way you want. But he has decided, for instance, to stay with his wife, and now he wants to visit with his child. Don't be bitter. You can't say you can only see the baby when you're with me. Guess what? That's not how it works. You can't say your wife can't be around my baby. Guess what? You knew about that wife in the beginning. That's not how it works. You can't say his other children can't know or his other children must know or whatever the deal is. You don't get to dictate the terms because you are just one of two parents and unfortunately one of at least three adults involved in this child's life from the beginning. You can't have it that way. So if you are the side chick and your man is not rich like Carmelo Anthony where he can just say Carmelo can write you those checks, then you have to understand in a realistic way what this is going to mean for you and for your child. And you want to make sure that not only is your child supported, but you understand the support comes from him, not from his wife. You want to understand that some of the support may be split because he may have other children, especially another wife the wife has to take care of. In fact, I was in court one time where there were three women, and the women were like, well, she married him. And then the master was like, what do you mean she married? She said, well, listen, yeah, we got married, but I mean, I still need my child to be supported. Like, that's why I'm here. Apparently, before the marriage, he had three different kids with these three different women. Before the marriage, she was getting child support, and she was like, I'm not about to come up here and let these two keep their child support cases open, and mine's not open, and my child doesn't get did anything. That didn't go over well. That didn't really work. But you have to remember that this process can be frustrating because you are dealing with multiple families and you got yourself in that situation from the beginning. So you have a situation where the child may not get the kind of support that you want financially. The child may not get the kind of support that you want emotionally. And because this man is not Carmelo Anthony, you are definitely not getting the rest of your needs met. He is not paying for you to be a stay-at-home mama. It's not happening. But don't bring the drama. Don't bring the drama to his wife. Don't bring the drama to his other children. Do not be on social media talking about all these things. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not smart. It's not good. Now, what you can do is, one, acknowledge that this is going to be a difficult situation. It's going to be a difficult financial situation because there are multiple families involved. It is going to be a difficult emotional situation because there are multiple families involved. And so you have to be flexible when it comes to custody. I urge you not to be in custody court degrading or disparaging the wife, saying that she can't be around your child. That's not smart. I encourage you to not try to have control of every situation, but to actually allow this child to have a relationship with this man who fathered the child. You both were in the wrong, and you are not any better equipped to make decisions than he is because he made a wrong decision and you made a wrong decision too. This is what happens. Now, stay out of their divorce or non-divorce or whatever it is that goes on with that. Make sure that you prioritize parenting, that you prioritize your child, and you minimize the relationship issues with the father. Because whatever mess is going on in his marriage, it's going to be messy for a while. It's really going to be messy for a while. And in part 3, which is coming up shortly, I am going to talk to the wife in this situation and tell her how best to deal with this. So, again, I am Jackie Jones of Jones & Associates Law PC. Before I leave, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment box now. But what I'd love for you to do, especially, is make sure you like, and share. I want parts 1, 2, and 3 all shared, as many as possible tonight, so that everyone can see the whole picture together. So do me a favor, click like, and then share it out to everyone because we want to keep this conversation going. And if you have not liked the page, you may not see part 3 when it comes out tonight. You don't want to miss part 3. I bet you it's going to be great. So again, Jackie Jones of Jones & Associates Law PC, and you have a great night.